Good evening and welcome to Posse Presents. Thank you for joining us for our second show. Before I introduce my guest tonight, I just want to give a quick update on something that I discussed last week. The New Haven Animal Shelter had their urgents, and we profiled Chili, who I'm proud to say did get adopted, so he will be going home this week and he is safe. There are two other dogs who only have until Tuesday to find homes. They are Pearl and Bubbles, and Snow and Melody have been given till the 24th. The shelter is closed tomorrow, but there is a very kind-hearted person who will make an appointment with you on her own personal time if you want to see a dog tomorrow to save a life before Tuesday morning. Her name is Delette, and her number is 203-464-2457. Again, that's Delette, and her number is 203-464-2457. Tonight we have with us a very special guest, a lady who is very near and dear to my heart, Sergeant Renee Harvey, officer in charge of the Waterbury Animal Shelter. Renee, thank you very much for joining me this evening.
Thanks for having me, Thea.
It's been a wild ride this last year or so. We met almost a year ago as a brand new writer with my Examiner.com column. I saw a piece on the news saying the Waterbury Animal Shelter is almost full and, you know, bad things were going to start to happen. So I came down and introduced myself in the hopes that somehow I could help. And you embraced me and let me write about the dogs and start screaming from the mountaintops. And that's what I've done. And here we sit now, a year later.
All right, let's be honest. You didn't give me a choice. I had to embrace you. You wouldn't leave.
This is true. I had one of my crazy red-headed dog lady temper tantrums, and I said, I'm not leaving here until you let me help. She's telling all my secrets. It's not nice.
Sorry.
But that's okay, because that's why we get along. Anyway, we've gotten a lot of support in the last year.
We have.
And I do just want to interrupt for 1 second and thank Chief Guglielmi for allowing us to have our little time together tonight, because, you know, any time we spend together is good time.
Always.
So yeah, we do have a lot more support now. It's been a bit of a road. I felt like I was screaming to crickets for quite a while, but we've got people who are posting the dogs and sharing the dogs and networking the dogs, and most important of all, adopting the dogs, which, you know, I personally can't thank everybody enough for stuff like that. I mean, that's what it's all about for my side of things, is getting the animals in homes and safe and out of harm's way. And, you know, actually we've got the sharers and we've got the networkers and we've got another core of the Posse, which I do remember the day that that was coined in your parking lot.
Absolutely. We
became your Posse, and hence the name of the show, Posse Presents. So of course it's fitting to have you on here tonight.
Well, let me just, not to cut you off, but...
Cut me off! You do it all the time!
And just say thank you, because since you've come along, I've pretty much been overwhelmed with all the people wanting to help. The cross-posting, the Facebook, you know, the Examiner, the newspaper, the television stations. I've been overwhelmed with people that want to help. And 2011 was a bad year for us in regards to the parvo incidents and so on and so forth. But even with that, we've still managed to adopt anywhere from 30 to 40 dogs a month. And that's because of the Posse and a lot of other people that have stepped up in the last year and have helped us get our dogs adopted. You
know, I say it takes a village to raise a child, and it takes so much more than that to save a dog. And I think that, you know, from the bottom of my heart, I'm just thrilled that we've had the people answer the cry. You know, it's made a big difference. And, you know, one of the things that people ask me all the time, they don't quite you know, you're a pretty large facility in comparison to many of the other ones in the state. You know, you are a municipal pound, you know, it's the city dog pound, 40 kennels. It's a lot of dogs. That's a lot of space, and people don't quite understand how do you get full. I mean, you're very high intake. It's not all about picking up strays. There's hold times. Let's talk just a little bit about the math. Let's do the math. Let's do the math.
Well, let's do the math. Yes, we do have 40 kennels. We are probably the largest facility in the immediate area. Unfortunately, 40 kennels is not enough.
Not in Waterbury.
Exactly. In a city of 15,000 people, there are probably 20 to 30,000, animals of different varieties in the city. And a lot of those are strays. But not only do we pick up strays or the roaming animals, we also do the dog bites. And dogs that aren't vaccinated have to come stay with us for 14 days just to make sure that they're okay if they bit someone. Our numbers, we can, to look at it daily, we could pick up one dog today or we could pick up 7. And this is, every day is kind of a new adventure. Our numbers run anywhere from 500 to 700 to 1,000 a year, depending on the year. Sometimes it's a good year, sometimes it's a bad year. But we do a very large volume and high intake at the municipal dog pound. And I don't know why it happens, I don't know how it happens, all I know is it happens. But again, thanks to you and the Pound Posse and a lot of other people, we've been doing a really good turnaround for the last year or so.
It's really come a long way. We have had losses, some very painful ones. People out there on Facebook follow it and cry with me. But then again, there's also the happy tears when it doesn't happen. I think statistically, just for space, there hasn't been any losses since early September, if I'm not mistaken.
I actually congratulated my troops this past week because we haven't had to do any euthanizations, or should I say mass euthanizations, since probably late September, early October.
Okay.
And that in and of itself speaks volumes for us because it's not normal.
See that, guys? We're not normal, but it's a good thing.
It just lends to, again, all the help that I've been getting. Facebook is overwhelming, and it's definitely helped us out a lot.
Told you. I hate to say this, but you were kind of resistant about that whole Facebook. You're like, I don't know. And
well, it's the whole social media thing.
But Renee, it's a good thing. People are paying attention.
It is.
They do.
There's negativity.
There's definitely.
That as well, but it's been doing, such a magnanimous job that you deal with the negativity and you just kind of work your way around it.
Yeah, there's no small amount of damage control that gets done. People's emotions run high. Oh, I can't believe this is, whatever. Put your emotions aside. You're wasting time talking about why when you could be hitting that share button and sharing a dog.
Absolutely, and not only that, I have to say that I also get, all the support that I need from the police department and the mayor's office. They've allowed me to use a little bit of creativity to try and do what I need to do in order to help our dogs, and I think that's great. I think it's awesome.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Having
everybody has to be on board.
Guys and having the support of my bosses, it's got
to come from everywhere.
It's a well-oiled wheel.
Yeah, it's that whole it takes a village thing.
Absolutely, and Rome wasn't built in a day, and we're not going to correct everything that was wrong, overnight.
No.
But we are certainly making strides toward, correcting any problems that we did have, and just trying to rearrange the order of how things are done, and get her done.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And I just, again, I can't thank people enough. I really, in the beginning, I thought I was like screaming off the mountaintop to crickets, and it was like, anybody out there? But really, they
I have to tell you, this woman is so annoying.
I won't go away till you listen to me. But it works.
That's why I love you.
That's why I love you too. Anyway, one of the things that we have to discuss, and I know it's a pet peeve of yours, when the dogs come into the pound, they're automatically urgent. The clock is ticking. It's not a question of, who gives them a date, who gives them an expiration date, what day their time is up. It's going to happen. Sooner or later, if they're still in the pound, it's going to happen. I even actually worked that into an article for you one time because you were venting about that. People do take notice when someone says they only have until Friday, oh my God, let's get them out of there. But they're urgent all the time, aren't they?
Every dog, unfortunately, well, correction, every dog that doesn't have an owner that comes into the pound is urgent. I mean, the clock is ticking from the time we bring them in the door, because unfortunately, again, the volume that we do, we bring in so many dogs that I guess the lifespan of a dog in the pound is only as long as it takes to fill that 40th kennel. And then we have to make room for the next dog coming in. And it's unfortunate, which is, again, why having you guys and, you know, the other people that come down and help, and the people that cross-post, and the people that send people down to adopt is so important. I'm, you know, she and I go back and forth with this, but I'm kind of dead set against putting deadlines and due dates on an animal's life.
But that's a good thing.
Well, sometimes it is, and I've had to in the past. I haven't had to do it in quite a while, and I'm thankful for that. But again, it doesn't change the fact that you know, every dog that comes in, their lifespan is limited to when that 40th kennel gets full, and sometimes that's sooner than later. So yes, they do have there is a deadline, and from the minute that they come in, we try to get them out there, get them advertised, and get people to come down and look at them, or send people they know to come down and look at them, posting them on Pet Finder, posting them on Facebook. We have our own website.
Get your uncle, get your cousin, get your cousin's uncle's brother's third generation, fourth time removed, get him down there and adopt a dog.
Absolutely. Theo does articles for us, and her article, we get the newspaper to come down every once in a while and post a couple of our dogs. So
which actually, yes, that's what we're looking right here. We've got Pete, who we're going to talk about in a minute, and we've got Lady, who we're going to talk about in a minute, both in the Waterbury paper today. About time, because like it's a Waterbury paper, that's all I'm saying.
Both awesome dogs.
They are. We will talk about them in just a few, because we do have the picture board set up, and the picture board tonight actually is full of. It's got the long timers. We've got not just a space crunch right now coming up, but we've got the long timers, and if we can get a shot of the board right now, that would be a great thing. And there they are. We've got Buddy, Bella/Mama, Maisie, and Pete. Starting at the top there, we've got Bella, who has been there the longest. If you guys can see at home the numbers next to their names, that's their impound number. The lower the impound number, the longer the dog has been there, and those are the dogs we really, really need to move out of there first. So, what would you say about Mama, Renee? Tell us about her. I know she loves belly rubs. She's a sweetheart.
Mama definitely loves belly rubs. I think Mama is an awesome dog, and if I had room for her, I'd take her home myself.
Ooh, that's the first time I'm hearing of that.
She is a beautiful dog. She is very affectionate. We were a little leery of Mama. When she first came in, she had pups. She was actually abandoned on a porch in the great city of Waterbury with her pups. And we took Mom and pups, and Mom was great with her pups, but very protective of them. So once Mom and pups were separated, I don't know if it was postpartum depression Mom was going through, but Mom was a little upset, and she didn't like people too much. But we took some time, we worked with Mom, and Mom came around. Mom,
yeah, I've met her, and she's a love.
She's done a complete, 360. She's a beautiful dog.
She's got those ears that someone tried to make her look like a mean mama, but yeah. It's deceptive.
Very sweet.
Very deceptive.
Very sweet, and she needs a good home.
She needs to get out of there. She's basically, this is where I start saying she's at the top of the vet's list. People understand me when I say that. She's number one on the vet's list. Don't let it happen.
Yeah.
And then we've got Buddy. Buddy is number 199. He is second on the vet's list if that has to happen. What's Buddy's deal? Buddy doesn't like being in a kennel.
Buddy doesn't show well because Buddy doesn't like being in a kennel. Buddy is he's been with us too long.
Yeah.
Essentially, and he's kind of tired of being locked up. When Buddy gets out of the kennel and he goes back in the playpen, or we bring him out front to, let him run around in the yard, or just hang out in the office with us every now and then when we have time. Buddy's a great dog. He's very attentive, very playful, very affectionate, and I mean, he'd make a great dog for anybody, and I don't understand why he hasn't been there. Well, I do and I don't. Again, because people come and they walk through, down the kennels and they look at the dogs, and Buddy just doesn't show well because he doesn't want to be there.
Yeah, no, a lot of times when I say to people, you're not seeing the dog you're going to take home. You're just not. It's either going to be a lot better or a lot worse in some cases, but that's just, you can't judge the dog entirely by how you see him in a shelter environment. It's not their natural environment.
Exactly, and you have to make that one-on-one connection.
You do.
That person to dog.
Oh yeah, it's got to be that chemistry thing.
Absolutely, it's usually the dog chooses its owner.
Oh yeah.
That's usually how it works.
Oh yeah. So now we've got Maisie. Maisie just had a recent streak of kind of like a not so good day.
Yeah, Maisie is, one of the pound favorites. She is a beautiful dog. I believe she's part boxer.
Yeah, she's got that in that picture. That's like a boxer pout.
Yeah, definitely.
100% a boxer mixed pout.
And that picture was actually taken after Maisie was adopted, and then she was brought back.
Nothing to mess a dog's head up more than freedom for 24 hours and then being brought back.
Right, and she wasn't brought back for anything that she did wrong.
No.
She was brought back simply because the person who adopted her didn't check with, the people that he was living with to make sure that it was okay for him to have a dog.
Which is really kind of important if you're going to bring a dog into an environment where everybody needs to be on board.
Exactly.
Because, who suffers? The dog.
Exactly.
It's not right. And she's a sweetheart.
She is. She's a doll. And everybody loves her. Everybody that's met her loves her. But again, she also suffers from having one of those low numbers.
Yeah.
And so
she's basically number 3 by the number board.
Right. Unfortunately, the way it works is our dogs come in, they're given an impound number. And the impound number pretty much tells you approximately when the dog came in. And all of these dogs, 2 of which are under 200, right now we're close to 400. So these dogs have been here 2 months or longer.
Yeah, you start doing the math, crunching the numbers, right. With the turnover, they've been there way too long.
And so unfortunately, if it comes down to a point where I have to do euthanizations, the lowest numbers are the first to go. And that's not a part of my job that I enjoy.
Of course not.
Unfortunately, it's one that has to be done from time to time.
Now let's talk about Pete. I love Pete. Pete is an exuberant puppy, bundle of joy. He is just a fabulous dog. He doesn't have possession aggression. He doesn't have any issues with people. He loves to give kisses. He loves to play. He'll chase a toy. In the beginning, I think you guys were like, this dog doesn't listen, but it's because he can't hear you. A white animal is very much predisposed to the possibility of being deaf, and Pete apparently is.
It took us a little bit to figure out that Pete couldn't hear us. Initially we thought there was something wrong with him because when you see him in the kennel, he's usually kind of just laying there, maybe staring off into space or, watching what's going on around him. But, if you say something to him or, all of the other dogs are barking madly and he's just sitting there, you're wondering what's wrong with the dog. And so again, it took us a little bit to figure out that Pete couldn't hear. But once we figured that out, it became very easy. We took Pete out into the playground. We took him out front in the yard. He is all puppy. He loves to run around and play. He's very affectionate, very attentive. He even knows commands, which I thought was, how does a dog who can't hear know commands? But
yeah, it's like sign language.
It's almost like he can read lips.
Yeah.
He watches hand movements, and he watches whomever is giving him attention. He watches them very closely. Very easily trained, and he's just a great dog. He's an awesome dog, and he does have one issue, or maybe 2. He doesn't get along too well with other dogs, and probably cats. But we're not veterinarians. I can't say for sure, but I'd say that it's probably due to his disability, that he's a little defensive because he can't hear.
Yeah, I mean, you got to wonder, you know, any dog that's in that environment, they're going through all kinds of changes, and now you've got one that can't hear, and he doesn't really know what's going on around him. So, yeah, I mean, I heard there was one day he kind of did all right with another dog. In Pete's own way, he did all right with another dog. He was better, not to say that they played or got along. Or
I think it depends on the nature of the other dog, too.
Yeah, I mean, there's a thing called dog selective.
True, it's like people are selective.
I mean, hey, I don't like most people, but, you know, you're an exception, but, you know, well, whatever. Lucky you. Lucky you.
I think that in the hands of the right owner, I think, you know, someone with some patience could probably make him very comfortable with another dog or cat, because
it's going to take
really
time, though.
Aggressive. He's not aggressive, but he's just, I don't think he fares very well because he knows he has this disability and he can't hear, and he doesn't, you know, he's not sure of his surroundings.
Right.
But other than that, again, somebody with some patience that could work with him, I think he'd be a great dog. He'd be fine.
Oh, yeah, I agree. I love him. I think he's fabulous. And I'm just going to flip back to Pete up here in the newspaper. And there's also a lady on the bottom. Poor lady, she's breaking my heart. Let's just talk for a real quick second because we're getting down to the wire. Lady's an older lady. She's got fractured hip and arthritis.
From what we gather, yeah, she's definitely got a fractured hip, and they believe that she does have arthritis. We're not quite sure, 100% sure how old she is, and we may be guesstimating she's older than she actually is, but we think, based on all the scars that she has, that she may have been used as a bait dog, possibly for breeding and a bait dog. But, you know, even taking that into consideration, her temperament is great. She's still very sweet, and she really just wants, you know, some attention and to be loved.
Yeah, I mean, she's the perfect candidate. Just get her out of the kennel and put her on your couch. You know, come down, meet her.
She's that great companion dog. She's gonna hang out with you.
Yeah, she's not gonna like run around your house and go crazy. She's going to sit on your couch while you're watching TV and keep you warm this winter. So, you know, it's really. Stories like that break my heart. They all break my heart, but you know, you get like the older ones, the sicker ones, and it's just.
And a kennel is not where she needs
to be. Not at all, especially not in the wintertime. I mean, yeah, you guys got heat, and you know, you've got like the coranda beds now, and that's something that I wanted to ask you. You still need those?
Absolutely.
How many are you in need of?
We've gotten a lot of donations from a lot of great people. We've probably got maybe a third of what we need.
Okay. So if you're able to, keep those beds coming. Is there a particular size? I think there was something about there was a couple that may have come in that were a little on the bigger side.
Yeah, we got some like really extra large dogs, maybe the size of a Saint Bernard. We don't often. So something that would hold, you know, anywhere from a 50 to 100-pound dog is probably good for us. The extra larges, we don't really need too many.
Okay, and if people are going to send them, your address is?
200 Municipal Road in Waterbury, Connecticut. And the zip code is 06708.
And your adoption hours?
Our adoption hours are 11 to 3. We do make appointments for after hours, after 4 o'clock if we need to. We have someone working until 6 p.m. from Tuesday to Friday. And we also do adoptions by appointment on Saturday and Sunday.
Okay, and your phone number?
The phone number is 203-574-6909.
How sad that I know that by heart, huh?
Call me too often?
Never. That would not be me.
Says you.
Says me. I know, I just text you because I got your cell phone number.
I regret that now.
And if someone wanted to email you for any information, what would be a good email address?
Probably the easiest thing to do would be to email us from the Facebook website.
Okay.
Or
like a private message?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
The Facebook page for the Waterbury Animal Shelter is Waterbury, and then Animal Shelter, like one word together. Yeah. I did put a link on my Pound Posse Presents page to your Pet Finder page. so that anybody who wanted to do a little homework could get to you easily. But I can't, obviously it's not like I can share your page because it's a friend page.
Right.
So that's how you can look that up. Maybe I'll find a way to like tag you or something so people can just click on it. And not for nothing, that whole tagging thing just kind of gets on my nerves because it clutters up your page, especially in a pinch. But that's another story entirely. So is there any last real quick words you want to say? Because I can see that it's getting to be time.
Essentially, I just like to say that we have, I know some people are leery about getting dogs from, say, Municipal Dog Pound. We have some great dogs. We really do. And I got one. She got one.
I practice what I preach. My mojo is pound Posse all the way.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I can tell you that I guess the highlight of what I do now, or should I say for the last year, was, do you remember Miss Piggy?
I sure do.
When Miss Piggy got adopted.
Yep, and I'm still in touch with Amy.
To watch this little she was 4 or 5 year old little girl came in and picked Miss Piggy, and they became friends right there in the hallway of the dog pound. It was. I cry, okay? I get like all teary-eyed when I'm there and somebody's going home. I can't help myself. It's just, that's what I'm in it for, is to watch them go home. That's it. So come and adopt. Come down, check us out. Our dogs are posted on Facebook. They're posted on Pet Finder.
I keep an album on Facebook.
But those are just pictures. Come see it.
Yeah, come see the dogs. A lot of times I think you probably wonder what's going on because people come down there and ask for me. But I do go down there enough, and like I have gone down there just to meet the people that ask for me, and it's been a beautiful year. It really has. We've made a difference, Renee, and you're kind of like you came in and nobody knew what to expect, but we've done a good job together, and I appreciate that.
I appreciate all the help.
And I got yelled at for this last week because I didn't do this on the show.
You're not going to kiss me, are you?
No. I'll wait till we're done. Anyway, what I really want to say is thank you very much for coming on tonight, and my peace, love, and dogs. I got yelled at for not doing that. That's for Tony, because Tony really got upset that I didn't do that, okay? I don't need to say any more, do I?
Thank you for having me.
No, thank you. And again, thanks to the chief for letting us go. And they're saying good night, so say good night.
Good night.
Good night.